This is a screenshot from the clip that I'm going to show in a minute. And before that plays, I just wanted to break down and highlight a few key areas and sort of give you guys a bit more understanding to the clip instead of just playing it. If anybody's played this map renewal, you can see, this problem here always happens, especially on breakthrough. Everybody, because I think the previous sector sort of finishes round here, so everybody sort of just gravitates to running through this bit. But if anybody can pick the problem of this area, as you can see, it sort of goes from a narrow area here on this sort of wall area into this open expanse where the enemy can pretty much, be anywhere around here in this circle, cover here. It's an absolute mess for attackers to push through. And as you can see, multiple people on my team are dying. Not real much progress is being made. A couple of people have broken through, but there's quite a few people still dying. And all round, pretty much people run into this area here, get grenade spammed, shot through, the door as they run out, and so on and so forth. So as you can see on this green triangle here with the green circles around it, I've got a couple of teammates as well, a few more spawning in a bit. But as you can see, we're running up sort of in this direction as there's a door here and there's another one round here somewhere. There are two doors in this part. I think they're in that area, but yeah. Anyway, that's beside the point. What you'll see in this clip is I'll run to the first door and sort of peek out, but I decide to carry on further up to the second door. That's because it gives us a better sort of, I guess, like angle to come at D1 from, or a better path. If I went through the first door, as you can see, in anyone who's played this map before, people like to sit up here like snipers and sort of LMGs with the bipods, and you can get spotted that way. But by using this second door, not many people come up here, as hardly anybody uses the flank routes. So in this clip, what we do is we go through this door and we end up sort of flanking round through here and coming to D1 from this angle. And as you'll see, we'll take the objective, and that allows this mass of players on our team to spawn here, and we're able to take D2. And it sort of also frees it up, because once we start taking this objective, enemies that are applying pressure in this area, they fall back to D1 to try and stop the cap. And this in turn allows, people to push out and either, mop up enemies that have fallen back to D1, or push out themselves and go to D2, and we can take the objective. So that's just sort of a quick breakdown of the clip that I'm about to show you. And then during this clip, I'm going to give you a few examples and sort of reasons to flank and sort of implement it at least into your gameplay, or start thinking about it, both from an attacking and defending perspective in Battlefield 2042 and other Battlefield games in general, because this is a universal thing that I do recommend you guys do across all Battlefield games. Now, flanking doesn't always have to involve you running to the edge of the map and behind. You can easily flank in and around objectives, buildings, and much more on the battlefield. So when and why should you flank? Flanking can be done on any game mode, whether that's team deathmatch, rush, breakthrough, and conquest, for example. In conquest, say, when either your team or the enemy takes one of the flags behind their opponents, you've probably seen this on the map. You're pushing the enemy, you check the map, and they've captured an objective behind you, and you're getting shot in the back. What happened there is one of the enemy squads, or multiple squads, has flanked behind your sort of front line, and they captured the objective and allowed their team to spawn on it. And now what you've probably seen here is, a portion of your team has to go back, kill the enemies, capture the objective, and then come back to the front. And then in doing so, another portion of the enemy team has been able to capture another objective and, sort of alleviate that push that's been happening against them. That's why you want to be able to do this to the enemy. It allows your team to sort of keep applying pressure and doesn't allow the enemy to sort of get that upper hand and sort of steamroll you into a spawn trap. It gets you out of that spawn die situation. You've probably seen it like in this clip here and that screenshot for a prime example in the middle of the map, where for some reason your teammates just run it down the middle of the map. I don't know why, and they keep just getting killed over and over again. You don't want to be doing that. If you kind of get into that situation, I find myself doing it sometimes. You just get like this cone vision where you just decide just to keep running to the same spot. Just take a step back, look at the map, and you'll sort of see points where you're able to flank behind the enemy or get through their lines. You want to utilise that, and whether it's capturing an objective, breakthrough, conquest, team deathmatch, sort of getting around the enemy in team deathmatch and capturing a better building to sort of hold up in. That's what you want to be doing. If you see sort of choke points forming or big groups of teammates and enemies fighting, you don't want to get into the middle of this, as you've probably seen there's a ton of explosive spam and you'll just get randomly blown up. But by sticking to the outside and picking off stragglers, and people running back to the fight, sorry, you're able to, you know, get a good amount of kills, and it allows you to sort of, you know, stop the enemy being able to pile into that objective or pile into that area of the map, and you can sort of flank behind the enemy. And you can I found that you can get a lot more kills this way by catching the enemy off guard and sort of flanking around. Like, as I said, most people in this game have that sort of cone vision where they don't really look to their sides or look at the map in general. They just sort of follow the big group of their teammates, you know, the Zerg as it's called, and they just run to whatever objective. They don't really deviate from that, and they just either get killed a lot or they don't get many kills. Whereas by flanking, you know, you're able to get a lot more kills just by picking off stragglers, picking off small groups of enemies, and you get a lot of points as well for capturing more objectives. Now, flanking doesn't have to be done on foot. You know, you can use transport vehicles, air vehicles, you know, pretty much any vehicle in this game can be used to flank. And, you know, I use the sort of lighter transport vehicles just because they're more quicker, so you hopefully won't get spotted as often. And there's also like the troop transports you can use as well, by taking a troop transport and taking it behind the enemy and just setting it up, you know, near a objective. You know, your team should hopefully spawn on it, and then once again you can cause chaos behind the enemy lines and, you know, capture objectives and win the game. I've also found using smoke grenades can help with the flank. In Battlefield 2042, I know they've been fixing the maps, but there are those sections of the map where it's just open, there's no cover, and, you know, you can be easily spotted. Now, with smoke grenades, you don't want to, like, sort of always use them in this situation. If you get spotted, you want to be dropping smoke grenades, and it gives you sort of that, you know, soft cover. You know, it's not hard cover, you can still be shot through the smoke, but, you know, it makes it harder for the enemy to spot you. So, like I said, you want to be careful when using them. You don't want to be using them if you haven't been spotted, as, you know, a smoke grenade is going off in the middle of a field. At least one or two enemies will be like, what's going on here? They'll look over, they'll spot you, and then, you know, the players that are like sort of got like cone vision will then start shooting at you, and that'd be the flank over, and then next thing you know, you're getting flanked by those guys that spotted you. So with smoke grenades, you want to be sort of cautious when using them, but you do want to keep them in your arsenal, as it will help a lot with just, you know, giving you that sort of soft cover. But that's it for today's video. If you guys have any more tips on flanking, please leave it in the comments down below. I might do a proper in-depth video as well, sort of moving away just from this clip and giving you more sort of tips and tricks to flanking and a few more examples. So make sure to subscribe for that, leave a like as well if you want to see that type of content and more sort of guides and tips and tricks, vehicle breakdowns, weapon breakdowns on Battlefield 2042 and previous Battlefield games. If you want to see that, make sure to subscribe, and yeah, until the next one, have a good one.